Anyway, we're going. We're traveling to Combo Breaker. This is the first time I've traveled since 2017, I believe. That's the last time I traveled for a tournament, so it's the first time I'm traveling in a long time. Steve, I believe this is your first time traveling for a tournament since Combo Breaker, right?
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it out 2019, so 2018 was the last time I made the trip somewhere big, and it got me thinking because with events opening back up, a lot of events coming back, as we'll talk about later, you're going to have people who are traveling for the first time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
You're also going to have people who are traveling for the first time ever.
Yep, with those big numbers, with those big numbers that of people being there, though, of course, there will be more than one person who is traveling for the first time for a tournament.
Especially considering, like, you think because a lot of these events weren't around in 2020 and 2021,
Mm-hmm.
anyone who's come into the scene for the last couple years, whether it's Combo Breaker or CEO or ECT or Evo, we're going to have a lot of first-time travelers hitting the road pretty soon.
Yep.
So I thought that it would be worthwhile to maybe share a little bit of hopefully my wisdom, hopefully my experiences in going to events, and help you out in figuring out how to make the most of your experience. I have come up with a list of 5 tips that I feel are going to help you out in terms of maximizing your enjoyment. Might as well start at the top, right? Number 1, know where you need to be and how to get there. When I say that, I mean if you are going to a big event like a CEO, like an Evo, a lot of them will have maps of where your stations are. As soon as you know when your pools are, once that's finalized, check out and see where in the hall you got to be. Look at things like registration desk. Look at things like if there's food in the venue, where you want to be there. But beyond that, getting there. If you're driving down, make sure you look at things like, are there going to be tolls on the roads I'm going down? Is there any construction I have to avoid? If you're flying in, look at things like, is there a shuttle that the event is doing to the hotel? Is there a shuttle that the hotel I'm staying at is doing? If you're taking public transportation, do you know how much it's going to cost to get there? How much, if you have to transfer, how long it's going to take? So what time should you get there? Make sure you have an idea of all those things so you can get where you want to be and make sure that you're properly budgeted for it. Number 2, prioritize your tournament experiences. When you go to an event, obviously there's the tournament itself, but there's other games that you might want to check out. There might be an indie game that has a booth there. There might be some vendors that you want to get something from. There might be some restaurants nearby that you want to go to. There might be an exhibition you want to check out. There might be friends you want to see for the first time in a while or the first time ever. There might be things going on that have nothing to do with the tournament. Like a lot of these take place in big cities like Chicago, Orlando, Las Vegas. There are things to do outside of the tournament that you might want to check out. You're not going to have a chance to do every single thing you want to. So when you know what your schedule is like, take a look at what you want to do, when it's possible to do those things, and figure out, okay, if the biggest thing I want to do besides my own tournament is go see this one site, off site, and I want to catch this one exhibition, then plan your schedule around that. You know, be okay with missing out on one or two things to make sure you get to enjoy the things you're really looking forward to. Number 3, take care of yourself. Now, there are a couple things that I mean when I say this. When I say take care of yourself, I mean you are going to be there for a few days. You want to make sure that you are in as good of a shape as you can be, because traveling can take something out of you. If you're someone who's drained by big crowds, being in a big crowd can take something out of you. So make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're taking time out to eat. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure you're taking care of your own hygiene, because you don't want to be that person that gets pulled to the side and say, hey, it's cool that you're here, but you got to change clothes, you got to shower. Make sure you're in a good space with that. The other part of that I think is really important, and this is something that a lot of people don't do: buy groceries as soon as you get a chance to. Obviously, this is easier if you drive it, but as soon as you can, go to a grocery store or go to a convenience store. Get a pack of water. Get some fruit. Get some bananas, some apples. Get some breakfast bars. If you've got a fridge in your room, get some bread, get some cheese, get some lunch meat. You don't necessarily have to go crazy because you're going there for a few days, but you're only going to be there for a few days. But it's twofold. One, eating out for every meal is expensive, so you want to be able to save money when you can. Two, you don't want to eat fast food every single meal for an entire weekend. You're going to be feeling it, especially towards the end. You want to have something with real sustenance at some point. I'm not saying don't go to Popeyes, don't go to Culver's, don't go anywhere, don't go to the Korean barbecue spot. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying make sure that you have the opportunity to get some real food in you. Especially, there's going to be some mornings where maybe you oversleep. You want to just have something so you're not hungry while you're playing. Just grab that banana, drink down the water, and you're good to go.
Yeah, grab that banana.
Grab that banana. Number 4, get your competitive mindset right. If this is a tournament, if you have a routine in terms of what you do before a game, do as much of that as possible. If you listen to music, make sure you got your music with you. If you watch film of opponents, make sure you're doing that on the way to the venue or on your way down to the, when you're driving down or flying down. Do as much as you can to be comfortable when you play, because playing in a tournament setting is a lot different than playing at home. And even if you've been to locals, playing in a big hall with with massive crowds around, everything's going around. You've got people popping off a couple tables over, playing a different game. You're surrounded by 3, 4, or in the case of Combo Breaker, 10 different stages in the same hall, and everything's going on. It can be a little intimidating. So try and do as much as you can to be comfortable when you play. And number 5, don't be afraid to play casuals. This is something I see all the time. And this is something that I suffered with too when I went to my first events. One of the toughest things to say a lot of times is for a lot of people is, can I have next? The best One of the best ways to get better as a player is to play as many different players and as many different play styles as possible. You want to maximize your opportunity to do that. A lot of players, don't be afraid to ask to jump on. There might be a couple people waiting, but jump in line. If you get blown up, you get blown up. That's I know a lot of people worry about going in and, not being good enough or people thinking they're a bad player. No. When you get in the hall, if you think that, I want you to do something when you walk into the room for the first time. Walk in, turn your head 360 degrees. Look at everyone around you in that venue. Half of them are going to either go 0-2 or 1-2. That's just the nature of tournaments. Everyone is going to taste a defeat. People don't. You're not gonna run into, in most cases, you're not gonna run into people saying, "Oh my God, you suck. You're terrible. Don't do this." No. If they blow you up, 99% of players will gladly tell you how they did it and how to get better. Because here's a little secret about fighting game players. If you give them the opportunity to look smart, they will gladly take it. So if you're getting beat by something, don't be afraid to ask, "Hey, how can I deal with this?" And 99% of the time, they will be happy to tell you how they did it. Because that's how they get better too. You learn from what they do, and they'll learn to combat how you combat it. So, and then, you know what? I like this list, so I'm going to give you one more bonus tip. Have fun. Unless you're doing this for a living, the whole point of going to an event is to enjoy yourself. So, don't try not to worry about all the other things. Just make sure that look at it like the opportunity to do something you enjoy around other people who enjoy it. And maybe get some popcorn and maybe eat some Korean barbecue. In fact, probably eat Korean barbecue because the official food of the FGC is Korean barbecue. But just enjoy the experience. Your first time, experience as much as you can, and maybe you'll like some things, maybe you won't. But then you'll know the next time you go out, hey, I didn't really like entering 5 tournaments. Maybe next time I'll only enter 1 or 2 and give myself a whole lot more time. Or maybe you're someone who likes being in a whole bunch of games and constantly having something going on. Use this opportunity to figure out what you enjoy. Because that's the whole point of this, is enjoyment. If you're paying a whole lot of money, if you're taking time off of work or time away from school or whatever, and you're not having fun, why do it? So have fun.